I was curious from your perspective, looking early on. So when you started working with folks, specifically interns, versus now, because very recently, scientists took on a bunch of interns as well. What has changed in your mind about the differences of working with interns at those early stages against working with interns now as you're really growing as an organization and your team has gotten significantly bigger?
Yeah. So the short answer is a lot. A lot has changed. Right? The team has grown. We're probably 3 or 4 times bigger now than when we first started taking interns. The first set of interns we had, we probably jumped in without necessarily preparing as much as we probably should have, which I would actually encourage people, right? Don't over prepare. Don't let yourself not do something because you're afraid you haven't prepared. But I will say that we learned a lot. And things like our onboarding, our getting our application sort of installed on somebody's computer. Before we took on interns, we were usually hiring, pretty senior devs, and it was a little bit of well, come on board and we'll figure it out. And over a couple of days, we'd get Postgres installed and our caching system and all that sort of stuff, and you just kind of figure it out. If you have an intern that's going to be there for a month or 6 weeks or something like that, that's not the best way to do it, right? Like you need your documentation up to date. So that was one of the things that came quickly, came early, and the more often you get interns, the more that stays up to date. The other thing that we got as an organization out of it was, maybe oddly enough, we got mobile device management. That was one of the things that, prior to interns and prior to this sort of hiring that we've done in the last few years, we would buy people's computers and we'd give them to them and we'd set them up, and then that was it. When we started hiring, when we started getting these interns onboarded and offboarded, we really needed an automated system for that. And yeah, that was just some of the side benefits that we've had from hiring these interns. It really tightened up the company, got us ready for our security audits. Yeah.
So were there any areas, was there any additional tooling that you found that you had to do that was above and beyond what you maybe identified you should have done before? Right. So any tooling that was different because you were taking on less experienced people versus if you had an only senior team, you could have kind of stuck without it and they would have figured it out a different way? Or was it you made the discovery, you're like, no, we were really missing that and this benefits all and we should have done that in the beginning? So anything along those lines?
Yeah, it really is more the latter. I can't think of something that we're doing now that we probably wouldn't have done before. We just, by hiring senior people, I think it allowed us to sort of cut corners, right? And by hiring more junior developers, people that are earlier in their career, it forced us to sort of think through these things, and those things help the senior developers as well. It's just they didn't. It wasn't as much of an issue before. So these are things that really tightened everything up for us as an engineering organization. They benefit everybody. So yeah, I think it's really cross-cutting, improvement.